I thought, okay, she's helping out other people like me. We're a very interesting bunch, right? Like we need a little bit of different love. So that's why I reached out to you guys. I knew that you had helped people in my similar situation be successful.
You're watching the Art of Applying's Client Case Study Series, where we sit down with our clients who have just been accepted into their dream graduate schools. We talk about their stats, acceptances, scholarships, and their advice and encouragement for other applicants just like you. If you're interested in getting my team's expert editing, guidance, and advice on your admissions journey, book a free 15-minute quick call with our team at the link in the description. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more success stories, application tips, advice, and encouragement. Now, back to the video. Welcome to the Art of Applying's Client Testimonial Case Study Video Series. I'm Kanisha Grayson, founder and CEO of the Art of Applying. We help people get into the world's top grad schools and get as much money as possible to pay for it. And today I am here with one of our superstar, awesome clients, Alma. Hi, Alma.
Hi.
So Alma and I are actually in the same city. So we're just like maybe 20 miles away from each other at the most at this point. And really excited to be connecting with you today. And we have lots to celebrate today. Alma, what are we celebrating today?
Yes, I got accepted into 2 MBA programs. I got accepted to the University of Texas, McCombs School of Business, and to Rice University's Graduate School of Business, Jones Graduate School of Business.
Fantastic. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to talk about the scholarships.
Yes.
Yeah, I got for McCombs, I received $20,000 during the 2 years. And then for Jones, I received a full scholarship.
Wow, wow, wow. That is very exciting. So that definitely means we're going to need to talk about deciding to walk away from a full scholarship and how you did that calculation and decided, you know, that I'm going to go for it because you did decide on UT McCombs.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
So talk about walking away because it's a lot of money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is super exciting. One other thing we are celebrating today is just a few days ago, an article came out in Fortune featuring me, the Art of Applying, and you.
Yeah, it's the first time I've had my name on a really official article. It was a fun experience though, and I'm so glad that I got to share my story out there. I'm looking forward to other moms being inspired by my journey so far.
Absolutely. Okay, so you mentioned that you're a mom. So tell us whatever you feel comfortable sharing about your applicant profile. So we know you're a mom, but if you feel comfortable sharing your age, your ethnicity, where you went to college, what you studied, your GPA, your GRE or GMAT score, are you a reapplicant, whatever you feel comfortable and as specific as you feel comfortable sharing so that the people out there listening and watching can be like, okay, this is who she is and this is how we're similar, this is how we're different.
Yeah, definitely. That's a lot. So get ready, folks. Yes, I am a mom to a 21-month-old daughter and my age is 33 years old. I am married and I am a first-generation college student. In college, I studied communication studies and Spanish language. And my GRE score is a 306. And actually, I think that was it.
Yeah. And do you feel comfortable sharing where you went to college?
Yes, I went to Southwestern University in Georgetown.
Yeah. Okay, so Alma, you say a first-generation college graduate. That is fantastic. And a mom and married and can you remind me, did you share what your GPA was from college? Do you feel comfortable sharing it?
Yeah, actually did not mention. It's a 3.2.
Okay, so we had a low GPA and a low GRE score. Oh my goodness, like that's a lot going on, right? So yeah, why don't we talk about what the application process was like before we started working together? What was hard? What wasn't working?
So we're going to have to go all the way back to 2014. That's when I applied only to one school on my own. So for this many years, I've been wanting to go to, get my MBA. And at that time, I thought, oh, I got myself through into college on my own. At that point, that's what I thought. But there were college counselors at my high school, which actually dawned on me until much later. So I've done this before. I've got this. At that point, my GMAT score, I'm not afraid to share it. It was a 410. I'm like, it's fine. I'll do it on my own. It's okay. And of course, I got rejected. And I was a little bit sad, I think, but I moved on. And then we can talk a little bit more about the journey after that.
Yeah, tell us about the journey after it.
Okay, yeah. So then we'll move all the way to 2017. That's when you and I met. I did the Forte program, which MBA launch is what it's called. And you were sitting next to me on one of the sessions in Houston. And I was excited. I was part of my cohort, and I was not cracking that score that I needed. All the averages, I was looking at what score I needed, either GMAT or GRE. I was nowhere near it. And I kind of gave up. I remember after taking the GRE score, because I took the GMAT score, I wasn't moving up. I switched over to GRE. And after I took my test, I got in the car, my husband picked me up, and I started crying. I told my husband, this is the end. Like, it's not going to happen for me. And that's okay. I got to close this chapter. But I didn't really close it. I continued to follow your newsletter, and I would read all of the amazing client stories, and they would really inspire me. And I'd be like rooting them on, like, yes, they did it. Similar profiles like myself. But I always kept thinking, that's them. They did it. They're wonderful. Like, this is not going to happen for me. And then my husband and I were delirious with a 6-week-old. We both, thank God, had wonderful parental leave. So we had 2 months together with our daughter. And we just talked about, in this delirious state, like what kind of parents we wanted to be. And we talked, the MBA goal came up. It was a really big goal still, that all the way up to 2019, from 2014 to 2019, I was still thinking about and sort of holding on to through your newsletter stories. And that's when I decided to contact you and see, like, this is my score. Like, do you think there's even a shot for me?
Wow. So 2014, and right now we're halfway through 2021.
Yeah.
What a journey. Alma, that is 7 years, or like 6.5 years. Wow. So what year was it that we met?
2017.
Okay. So yeah, you were already 3 years into your journey. Wow. I think that's going to encourage a lot of people who may be like, I've been thinking about this for 4 years. It's too long. I need to just move on, and have the buried dream, that then kind of bubbles up sometimes.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And so that's how you found the art of applying then, was us meeting when I was speaking at the Forte event.
Yes.
Okay. And so what inspired you to reach out? What did you think the breakthrough call would be like? And then what was it actually like?
So what inspired me to call was actually even a little bit before then. What inspired me to hold on to your newsletter? So I remember, were sitting next to me, like I said, and I was a little bit confused what was going on. We were like transitioning at one point, and you're like, oh, how can I help you? And I said, oh, are you part of staff? You said, no. And I thought, already she wants to help. We don't even know who we are, but I love that you were just willing to help someone out already without any stakes involved, really. So I knew that working with you, I was already going to get a really helpful team to support me through this journey. And then in addition to the newsletters, I thought, okay, she's helping out other people like me. We're a very interesting bunch, right? Like, we need a little bit of different love. So that's why I reached out to you guys. I knew that you had helped people in my similar situation be successful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, so Alma, you said we are a different bunch, and we need a different kind of love. What do you mean by that? What does a different bunch mean, and what does a different kind of love look like?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this, like how I was going to explain that. Actually, I did talk to the reporter about this. So I grew up low income, and my mom, whenever like you're walking in the mall, when I walk in the mall and she'd look at Banana Republic and she'd be like, I can't go in there. It's too shiny. It's too pretty. Let's go to like Old Navy. That's more my style, right? Like I belong there. It's a little bit like maybe not as nice and pristine. And I felt like I had looked into other consultant agencies and they felt a little too button up for me. Like I'm a little rough around the edges. I don't have the scores that already that I'm probably needing to get in. So I knew that I was already coming with a little bit of a setback than other people who are like, they've got all their stats ready to go and just need to get across the finish line.
What a beautiful story. I know exactly what you're talking about. I grew up, I did not grow up low income, but I grew up in a low income neighborhood. And I know exactly what you mean about the just kind of like, oh, that's for other people, you know, that's not for us. And so what gave you the courage and the commitment to say, hey, you know what, this is for me, and to make that commitment to work with us as an hourly coaching client? Was it scary? What were you thinking about? Just what was your thought process and your feelings process for deciding to go ahead and take the leap and work with us?
I had never monetarily invested in myself besides going to college, but I had a lot of grants and scholarships. So it was very minimal investment for myself. And then going into adulthood, I didn't think about like, you still have to monetarily invest in yourself, just like you hire a personal trainer to get fit, or businesses hire a consultant to work on a business issue that they're tackling. I thought this is an investment for me and I really need that help. Like, sure, I could have spent so much time and energy to figure it out on my own, but you do this day in and day out and help people like me. You're the expert in this. So sometimes you just got to like let go and trust that other people have the best interest in you as well.
Ah, beautifully said, beautifully said. And you mentioned that you're married. I'd love to hear about how your husband has been a part of your journey, and how, you know, and your decision-making process.
Yeah, when we went through the breakthrough call, you told me to invite my husband to our next call. And I already knew, wow, she gets it, right? When you have a partner, this is like who's supporting you through this, like you feel even more like energized to kind of like keep moving forward. And he loved being a part of it because you got to show him like, yes, this is what can happen on the other side. So he envisioned it as well for me. So when there were those really tough moments, right? Like long hours, we can go into all the detail that I had to do to get to where I am now. It's like, he was on board. He's like, we're going to do this, like monetarily, we're sold, like, plus there's all these task items that you all require of us, which of course is important. But it does take a lot of time. So he knew he had to kind of shoulder some of that responsibility a little bit more.
Absolutely. So it really helped him with like buy-in, understanding that you're not just like in this cave studying for hours and hours for the GRE and writing essays, but actually like being with you side by side on the journey. Like this is his win, or the family's win as well. You getting into the school, being featured in Fortune. Wonderful. And so was it scary to make the leap to work with us? What fears, doubts, or concerns did you have?
Yeah, I touched a little bit about how like making an investment on myself. I think I never thought about myself as an investment. I just thought like make sort of like things happen to me, right? But I realized like you need to make things happen for you. And this was just one way of helping myself get to that next part of my career.
I love that quote. I used to think things happen to me, and I realized I have to make things happen for myself. That is beautiful. And so, what would you say to someone who's watching this video and says like, okay, this company sounds really cool. I'm happy for Alma, but like, I want to first get a really strong GMAT or GRE score, and then I will reach out to the art of applying once I know I have a good enough score to be competitive. What would you say to that person?
That was me. And I spent years, as we just went through my timeline earlier, just sitting by myself with my own thoughts, like looking at at these websites, right, that said, this is a score you need, basically, right? But those are averages, and they are very clear about that, but you're still in your own head when you don't talk to someone who really knows about the process, and that's you and your team. And you focus on what score do you need based on your profile, because everyone is so different. They come with different backgrounds. And now I really do understand that schools do look at all of you, not just your score. And I know that when we met, you're like, okay, this is your score. How can we bolster other parts of your application to make sure that that's not what they're really focusing on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you say to the person who's still kind of stuck in that loop of like, no, I've got to get the score? What kind of encouragement would you give her?
Yeah, there are other things you can do. So one of the things you told me to do, which is out there too in the internet, to take supplemental coursework. And I was always so overwhelmed by like, I've got to take what? Like more classes?
Yeah.
But you were so encouraging, like, okay, let's look at the list of supplemental courses that you could take based on your profile. You recommended some that I take. And that just felt like, okay, I can do this, right? And I think it really helped showcase I do have quant abilities. Just the testing piece is really what holds me back.
Absolutely. And as you may or may not remember, I didn't blow the test out of the water either. I had a very mediocre score. And I always really want to emphasize to our clients and to anyone watching these videos or listening to the interviews that you are more than a test score. Okay. I really believe those tests, all they test is how well you take the test. They don't predict your future success in graduate school. And they don't predict your future success as a professional business person or leader. So I'm really happy that even though your journey has been a long one, that in the end, that test did not hold you back forever, right? And keep you from even applying. And so I'd love to just know, what's next for you now in the grad school application process? What has happened and where are you now?
Where am I now? School starts in a few hours.
This is your first day of school, or school's already started?
I'm doing a boot camp where we kind of like get going. It's not, it's highly recommended, but we're all required to do this this course to get us going for the first official day of school. But yeah, school starts in a few hours for me.
How exciting. What wonderful timing of the article coming out, us recording the interviews, school starting in a few hours. Oh, Alma, I'm so excited for you. And so now that you've achieved these amazing results, what will change, improve, or open up in your life or career?
I think one big learning for me was to ask for help. I was always afraid of asking for help because I didn't want to be a burden to someone, right? So that's a big one. I think there are other people who have strong backgrounds on one thing, and I think asking for their help is really going to help me propel my career. In terms of getting an MBA, I not a long time, maybe 3 years now, have been looking into product management. Okay. And my MBA is really going to help me make that full-time jump.
Awesome. I love it. And now we did mention that you walked away from a full ride at Rice. Yeah. First, let's just talk about how you felt when you got the news about not just getting into UT, but you got in with a $20,000 fellowship, but then also, whoa, you got into Rice with a full scholarship. How did you feel getting that news?
One was like, why didn't I do this before sooner? But second, I was so proud because there were times where I was a little bit down, like, am I going to be able to get through this hump during the application process? And my consultant was there, like, no, you've got this, right? And just knowing that the hard work really did pay off, and much more than I was expecting, right? I was thinking, I just need to get in. I just need to get into one. And getting into two, having two options, and then money, which is super important. And yeah, like you said, I walked away from a full ride, but we can go into detail on why that was. So
Yeah, tell us what helped you, what went into your decision-making process of UT versus Rice. Clearly, you know, UT's in Austin, Rice is in Houston, Rice is private, UT is public, UT's huge, Rice is smaller. So those are some differences, but what were the differences that ended up making your decision?
It was very much the students. I took y'all's advice to talk to as many students as I had time for. And I felt like I really connected with the McCombs students. They really do want to make the program better. As students and then as alumni, I spoke to several alumni who were like, whatever you need, like, let me know. And that's really great because I know that that's a really strong community. Of course, the Jones community is also wonderful, but I just felt like I really connected a little bit more with the McCombs students. And in terms of staying in Austin, at the end of the day, like it kind of balanced out, right? We'd have to move and the move, even though it's not maybe like hard dollars, it was still gonna be time and energy. So I really wanted to spend the summer just with my daughter and hanging out with her. And I thought, this is time that I'm never gonna get back. So the money, while some people were like, you put what? You left what? Life will work itself out is sort of what I'm thinking at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that we have this story of yours to show that it's not all about the money, right? Like, it's like you said, it's an investment and we're looking for a return on investment. So you did the math, the emotional math and the actual math of like moving, spending the summer, having to get resettled in a new place. And then also that you resonated with the UT students more. So I really love that you actually made that difficult choice in a mindful way instead of just go wherever it's free, right? But that you're like, no, I deserve to pick and have a choice. I have choice in this matter. So thank you for sharing about that. And I really love that you mentioned how you and your husband were talking about what kind of parents you want to be, and that you want to be parents who pursue their dreams, and you want to show your daughter that you can have a dream and work really hard towards it. And now, you know, look at this. She's got this article she can read when she can, in a few years when she can read, watch this video, and just this moment is actually captured in time. And so I'm just so happy for you, Alma. And this is just so exciting. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to say to somebody who's feeling discouraged? Maybe they've already applied on their own and it didn't work out. Maybe they have been spending months or maybe even years studying for the test. Maybe they've watched, this is their first of these kind of videos they've watched 20 and they feel like they know Kanisha and that they know the clients and that they're just still struggling on their own. They have some money to invest in themselves, but they're just feeling scared and hesitant. Just so unsure, so discouraged. What would you say to those people who are watching this video, listening, and just feeling like, you know, she's so relatable, meaning you, but like, can this happen for me?
Yeah. My husband is the one really who like kept me going through these years and this journey. And he would always say, the journey's over until you say it's over. And even though I said it's over back in 2018, I was still holding on. So if you're still holding on, just ask for help. Because once you talk to someone there and you on your own decide this is the end, then that should be the end for you. But you should keep going if you're still got a glimmer of hope.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alma. It has been an absolute pleasure. I am so grateful that I sat next to you that day in Houston at the Forte event. Thank you for remembering us, for sticking around on the mailing list for all those years, for being a wonderful client, and for sharing your story. I'm so excited for you, and I will see you very soon at our Austin gathering for clients.
Yes. Thanks, Kanisha. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Are you ready to take your application process to the next level? The Art of Applying helps you get into the graduate school of your dreams and get money to pay for it. Book a free quick call from the link in the description to get started. And subscribe to our channel for more application tips and success stories.